Senator Dunian.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and it's a pleasure to take an opportunity today to talk about something that has been an issue of importance to me since I was elected to this place 18 months ago, or a little over, and something I've spoken about at community events and in media interviews since. And that's the issue of young voter engagement in Australia, or youth apathy when it comes to politics. I myself am very keen to see younger Australians, take a more active and interested role in the future of Australian politics, in government, in the policies we make in this place and how the processes operate. I had the pleasure of awarding to an individual by the name of Olivia Richardson the inaugural scholarship that I fund privately through the Hobart Residential College Jane Franklin Hall, which is it's a scholarship provided for Northern Tasmanian students who wish to study at the Hobart campus of the University of Tasmania, with an interest in governance, public administration, policy or politics. And it's been great to work with Olivia, who is an extremely professional individual who I believe has a great future ahead of her. And Olivia, as part of her time in my office and as part of this scholarship, undertook some work which I'll be referring to a little later on. I think everyone who occupies a seat in this chamber and anyone who has any interest in the political sphere would acknowledge that young people in Australia have become somewhat disengaged with the political process. It's not a recent phenomenon, it's something that's been happening over a significant period of time, and that is an alarming thing, because as a result what we have is a weakened democracy. When a certain part of society doesn't want to engage, doesn't feel it's necessary or important for them to engage, then their say isn't being had. Their voices are not being heard. And so that does, as I say, result in what I believe is a weakening of our democracy. Despite what is that apparent youth apathy toward the political process, it hasn't stopped young Australians being engaged in other areas of civic life, and that includes volunteer work for specific organisations, NGOs, community groups, and being part of other social movements. That, to me, and from all of the evidence I've read, suggests that young Australians are motivated by issues-based politics, and I think taking on an issue of the day, which is the result of the postal survey on marriage equality, and I look at the the response rate for the younger cohorts, 18 to 19 years of age, 78.2% of respondents, or 78.2% of that age group responded, 20 to 24, 72%, 25 to 29 years of age, 71%. So that proves to a degree that when there's an issue they feel strongly about, they will engage. They will get out of their living rooms or whatever they're doing and participate in the issue that they are confronted with. The work that Olivia undertook in putting together her research paper on the issue of youth apathy indicated that it's not politics as a whole that young Australians are not engaged with. It's more the formal institutions that we have that they are disengaged with. The Australian election study in 2010 found that young people aged 18 to 29 years of age consistently exhibit the highest levels of voter apathy. And you see this manifest through facts like this, statistics like this, where only 1/5 of all people aged 18 to 24 register to vote. Now, obviously, with the postal survey, we saw an increase in that, but as I point out, that was an issues-based registration. In 2005, the International Social Survey Program asked the question, how important is it to vote, with the results revealing a significant degree of youth apathy. Older respondents were twice as likely to answer that voting is very important to them. There are a number of factors through all of the research that Olivia has done that influence that youth apathy towards politics, and they are as follows. They state that they're unsatisfied with political process, and when you watch Question time from time to time, it's hard to argue with why they would feel that way. They feel their interests are not represented by those who are elected to Parliament. This one hurts me, that they don't trust politicians. that there's a perception also that politicians are all the same, that we don't stand for anything different. They feel that their one vote won't make a difference, and finally that the big issues don't affect them. Of course, as people get older, as they have more responsibility in life, as they take on bigger decisions like buying a home, starting a business, political situations, the decisions we make in this place will impact on them, and you do typically see voter engagement increasing as people get older. We are seeing young Australians being increasingly disenfranchised by institutional politics, something I believe we need to address. Looking at the youth membership of political parties, statistics show in 1963 only around 13% of 18 to 29-year-olds didn't identify with a political party or affiliation. By 2010, the figure had jumped to 24%, and I suspect if you took a snapshot today that you'd find something of a much greater number. Some of this has been attributed to a breakdown in the generational chain, where parents aren't sharing like they used to their political views with children around the dinner table. Now, all of this is not new. We know that the problem is out there. I suppose the key issue for me is how we address that, and so Olivia, as part of her paper, which I'm very grateful for her having completed, point to a couple of recommendations, and I'm pleased to be able to go through a couple of those. The first recommendation Olivia pointed to was around civics education in schools, something I don't think we see enough of. There are certainly some good programs out there. The Parliamentary Education Office here in the Australian Parliament does an excellent job, both remotely through provision of resources to schools that would like to participate in the program, but also through hosting thousands of children through this fine institution every year. My two older sons go to a school that every year sends their grade 5-6 class off to Canberra to understand the political process. But I don't know that that is enough to have one trip to Canberra. That doesn't educate our youth on what the Parliament does and why it's so important, and how this place and the laws we make impact on everyday Australians' lives, and how having a vote and being active in the process is important. So Olivia's recommended that we should look at interactive online education, something that can assist teachers in promoting civics and a better understanding of how laws are made. Of course, younger people, all of us in this place, we live on our iPads, iPhones, and through social media we should be embracing this technology to assist in educating young people about how laws are made and what we actually do here. As I've said before, young people typically engage through non-electoral political issues, and that's a way we should be drawing attention to the political process. This establishment, the Parliament of Australia, is about to go through something with regard to the laws around marriage as a result of a very public and long debate. I think this is a great opportunity for us to show young Australians how important what we do here is, that how a single vote in this place can change the outcome of a piece of legislation. So this is our opportunity to show why it's important to be actively engaged in what we do, and for them as voters to be actively engaged. Olivia also states that the programs that could be run in these classes, something I'd like to pursue, certainly with the Minister for Education, would facilitate mock debates, passage of a bill, managing a budget, taking on votes, even staging a protest as part of the democratic rights we have in this country, putting issues on the agenda for debate, negotiations, diplomatic assignments and the like, just to name a few. And it would be great to do all of that on an issue that is of interest and of relevance in the current debate. So there is a great degree of interest from teachers. I think it's about providing those resources to teachers to be able to assist with civics education and make sure that our young Australians do have the knowledge to participate in their future years. I take this opportunity to commend Olivia for her excellent work in putting together this paper, which I will be working on and trying to see some results come from. She's a very professional young lady who I think has a great future ahead of her, and I look forward to working with the next intern at my Jane Franklin Hall Scholarship to see what problem we can tackle next.